I never actually really knew how special flowers were until I started growing and selling them and seeing people's reaction and actually all the memories that they hold for people. It's funny because I always thought, I'm growing veggies, we need to feed people, we need to feed healthy food, local food, spray-free. And then I really started to understand how meaningful flowers are. I've had so many brides and just, local people just crying because, you know, their grandmother used to grow these sweet peas and then you give them in a bouquet and they're just, all the memories come like flooding back, and it's just so beautiful. And I've just created a lot of like special relationships with people in the community just through flowers, and it's just, really amazing.
So I'm here with my friend Zoe, who I've actually known for quite some time now. I actually met Zoe before I met Troy and before we went sailing back when we lived in the city. Mm-hmm. And you were doing some interesting things then, and I was really happy to see you when we arrived here in the coffee shop.
Aww.
And
me too.
Yeah. I feel like we have similar interests, and well, why we moved to the country was for similar reasons.
Yeah.
And we've both got young families now, so and I thought it'd be really interesting to share with everyone what you've done here. And when I saw you again after I hadn't seen you for about 8 years, you told me about this idea, and it's really amazing to see what's happened in the 3 years since you sort of had the idea. And now we've got this amazing flower garden.
Yeah.
Flower farm, I should say.
Yeah, that's the little one.
Yeah. So how did you decide on having a flower farm?
Okay. So it's a big question because I get asked it all the time.
Yes.
So
you know how to answer it now.
Yeah. Pretty much. So back in the city, I was working a lot on growing vegetables. Yeah. So I had my own little business. Yeah. And that was setting up edible gardens in people's backyards. Yeah. And I'd done my permaculture course, and I'd recently been to India and had gone on a agricultural ecology course. Yep. That was just living on a farm for a month and learning about natural farming and gardening. And I'd recently finished my degree in sustainability. So it was kind of all just coming together, and I didn't really have a plan. I didn't really say, this is my goal, this is what I want to do. I just loved doing all the things I was doing, so I just kind of rolled with that. And then when our first daughter was about 9 months old, we moved down here. And then we kind of got the intention of, okay, we're going to set up veggies down here and sell organic vegetables. But then somehow it kind of transformed into growing flowers. Yeah, and I grew up on like flower farms as well. My grandparents had a flower farm in Rosabrook, just near Margaret River, and I grew up on our property in the Perth Hills, and my parents had Geraldton wax. And then I sold a few bouquets at the local RGA, and they kind of just went really quickly, and then there was a lot of interest for it. So I kind of, kept growing it, and then a couple months in, our good friends asked me to do their wedding for them. And I was kind of like very hesitant and saying, oh no, that was kind of my 5-year plan. Maybe I'll do weddings in 5 years, maybe. Yeah, I was very, very confident with the growing side, but was kind of just getting into, teaching myself about floristry, and particularly sustainable floristry. I never really used floral foam or anything like that. It was a whole new thing. So did their wedding. It was amazing. Got some really nice photos from Victoria Baker, and she posted them up, and then ever since then I've just had couples wanting our flowers for weddings. So I've just got weddings booked all throughout the year now. Yeah. And I mainly am a wedding florist now. I don't know if I've told you all, but I used to be a florist when I was studying. Floral foam, if you're not aware of what it is, it's like a green, it's a hydrocarbon-based product that you can arrange really easily in
but it does shed a lot of microplastics that end up in the water system. And so a lot of florists are moving away from that, and you wanted to do that, and it's really special.
Yeah. I did a bit of research when I was getting into floristry about, sustainable floristry. And I think when I was younger, I was interested in floristry. Like, I did apply for a few florists here and there when I was, 21.
Yeah.
But I always found it quite strange that they, it's supposed to be like a celebration of flowers and nature, and I found it quite strange the amount of, plastic wrapping that was involved and the floral foam. So I kind of just steered away from that direction. But with using my background in sustainability and, love for nature and growing, and it just kind of all just fell into place. And then, just did hundreds of bouquets and just hated them and cried over them, and just practiced a lot until I got it to the standard that I was happy with. And it took a long time. Like, I was really not happy with my bouquets for a long time, so it took practice. There's a lot of online courses now you can do, particularly in sustainable floristry. So I've got a few really favourite flower farmer florists that I follow and get inspiration from, and I've done a lot of their courses, and I'm constantly kind of looking at their workshops. And so I love learning, and I constantly wanting to learn more and how to make myself better at what I do. I just love doing that.
So I think what's really wonderful about being self-taught is that you kind of create your own style, and you're not really set within rules.
Yeah, and I really draw inspiration from nature, and having a lot of garden textures and things that you would never see at a florist, available at a florist. So I love doing that, and I love just walking through the garden and just finding little things I can put in, and I think that really makes it special. Yeah, I've always been kind of a creative person as well, so it kind of just worked out, and now I just love what I do. At the moment I think this year is about 15 weddings. Yeah. Bouquets for the bride and the bridesmaids. Boutonnieres for the men, arbor arrangements, a couple of maybe urn arrangements, and then table arrangements. So 2 full days of prepping and arranging, and then half the day setting up at the venue. I would mark out 3 days. 4 days for a larger wedding. But well, I don't think it would be a profitable business if I was just selling the bouquets, through my flower delivery or to local retailers. Yes. I think I really need the weddings and now that is my main source of income.
The niche thing,
and then the local bouquets are just, to supply to the local community, which is really important to us. And
also you're always going to have excess flowers, right? So it's really nice to be able to share that.
Yeah, exactly. So I always try to, consistently supply the community with flowers as well.
Yeah. So you started the flower farm not actually on this property. You were somewhere else.
Yep.
You were renting. How did you find transporting? Was that difficult, having to start again here after setting everything up there?
Yeah. So we thought we were going to be there we thought we were potentially going to buy that property. Yep. It held some really, special memories there. As you said, starting up the whole flower farm there. So moving here was a massive job. It wasn't so difficult in that we knew what we were doing then, because we'd done it so many times, renting so many places and establishing so many gardens. You kind of get used to moving.
And that was with the vegetables and consulting for people.
Yeah. So then moving the flowers, we'd built up the soil there for a number of years, and so that was a bit hard. But moving here, it was just a matter of just hard work. Just trying to get everything in the ground for the spring flowering. We kind of just threw all of our stuff down in the house and just didn't even look at the house and just started on the garden as soon as we got here, and that was about 10 months ago. So we moved here just after Mother's Day. So luckily I was, finished my flowers for the season, and then we usually have 2 months off in winter, 2 months off of selling and weddings, but we're just in the garden, just prepping, trying to prep for the next season. So it was really hard, but now we've got all the beds established, like all the annual beds are created. It's very intensive. So we pretty much use like the bio-intensive method that is used for veggies. And then we're just looking at creating more perennial areas as well, just for a bit of low maintenance areas and more like drought resistancy. And then, yeah, focusing on plants plants such as grasses and flowers and like foliage plants that can add some really like amazing textures to bouquets and arrangements. And yeah, just be a bit easier in the garden side of things as well. So
that's your perennial beds?
Yeah, so that's what we are aiming to create in the next year. Yeah.
Okay, yep. And so you've started it a bit with your roses at the front of the house, and so you're going to integrate that a little bit more into the rest of the garden.
Yeah.
So you've moved here to this place in Pemberton, so you're actually like pretty much on the outskirts of town. You're still pretty much in town. You've got neighbours quite close. What size is your block here?
It's 1,400 square metres.
Okay.
So
I'll have to figure out what that is in acres.
I think it's about a third of an acre.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your flower farm's probably a little under a quarter acre. And so you're growing like quite a few flowers in a quarter acre.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. We always get people stopping by and just saying how beautiful it is and like how do we fit it all in here?
Yeah.
It's a good size, and it's a good size for maintaining it. You know, the house is just there. We can just step out. I can look out of the kitchen window and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And so I think compared to when we were on that 5-acre property last year, it's a lot different because you have so much space. You're like, oh, just put that there and, you know, have big paths, and it's not really an efficient use of space. And everything's obviously done by hand. We don't have machines or anything. So we have to consider that when we're making everything as well.
When you say we, you're talking about...
Yeah, my husband, Luke.
Yeah, so he's been...
the main man.
Helping you till, no doubt, and he was the muscle behind setting up all the beds.
Yeah, he was, and he did an amazing job when we first moved in. There was a little mini blueberry orchard where all the main annuals are now, and he just dug all of those out by hand. They were about 20 years old, so he dug those out by hand and transplanted them on the side. And then he made all the beds, irrigation, like helps me with the netting and staking and, you know, all the heavy lifting, and he set up the greenhouse. So he does a lot. Yeah, I think also if we were selling wholesale, we would need a bigger property because you have to meet those constant demands from the florists. Yeah, from the florists and everything. But whereas there's a lot of demand on supplying for the wedding couple, but in a different way. So I can have it's more exclusive, if you like. So they do have to let me know like a year in advance, so I can actually, then I go on to order the seeds. So I choose out particular colours, particular varieties, what is going to be flowering when, so I can achieve the, you know, the pastel colour palette at this time of year with the exact varieties. It requires a lot of planning and experience, I think, as well. I've tried to do record keeping, but I think it just, because it comes so naturally to me now, I think I just know, okay, I'm going to do this at that time. So you have to know when to sow your seeds, how many succession plantings you need, and just grow extra, like a lot more than you think, because you don't know what's going to happen that season. So they might flower early or late, or you might have to have a backup focal flower because that one didn't work, or there's disease. So there's a lot to think about. So yeah, I think it's just as demanding, but I am able to do it on a smaller scale because it's not just bunching up massive loads of flowers and taking them. It's more about meticulously planning out and then arranging it, which is very time consuming as well.
What is your business name?
Okay, so our business name is Farmhouse Flowers.
Yep.
So I'm not sure where it came from, but
it's pretty descriptive of what you were doing.
Yeah, I guess we were on in a farmhouse, and I guess the first house that we came to when we moved from Perth was actually a little farmhouse. Yeah. Just across the road, strangely, from their house, we ended up making the first flower farm at.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot of like sweet memories there from when my little girls were small. So I think it just fitted, and we're in a country town, and you know, there's a lot of farmhouses around here. So I guess it's just the vision of picking some flowers from your garden and putting them on your farmhouse table. So I think it really speaks to everyone around here.
Yeah, it evokes like the cottage garden kind of feel.
Yeah, and that's what we're growing, like the cottage garden style flowers, you know, roses, dahlias, all of that sort of stuff. So yeah.
Beautiful. And did you do all your own branding, or did you hire someone to do that for you?
Yeah, I did all my own branding. So everything I've just done it myself.
Yep.
So with my first business in Perth, I actually hired someone to do the logo and all of that sort of thing. But, you know, I thought, you know, I could do it myself. So
we've done really well.
Yeah,
I really like
thanks.
it. I like the branding. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have specifically commented on the branding, and I think that is actually really important to just get people intrigued about what you're doing, and I loved it.
And so with your marketing, what are you mainly relying on to get the word out there about what you do?
Yeah, so mainly social media.
Yep.
I didn't actually have social media for a number of years before I started the business, so it was a big kind of transition for me to get my name out there and be consistent with posting things. And I don't know, I didn't really have a strategy about it. I just posted the garden, what I was doing, and people started liking it. So yeah.
So when you say social media, I'm assuming it's mainly Instagram, being a flower farmer and florist?
Yeah, mainly Instagram. And then the Instagram kind of just automatically updates to Facebook. So I don't really go on Facebook, but I do have to kind of check it. I think a lot of the local people use Facebook.
Yes.
So I try to, you know, post on the local community pages.
You're on the notice boards.
Yeah, on the notice board. So that's really helpful, and people appreciate that as well. And then I also have my website, which I created, and that just has my flower delivery on it. So an online shop.
So people can order custom bunches online?
Yeah, they can.
So there's social media, and then are you in any like directories or anything like? Have you found that you've been getting work through them?
Yes, I'm with one directory, so it's called From This Day Wedding Directory.
Yeah.
And you just pay a small amount per month to just be a part of their directory.
Yeah.
They post a lot on social media, and they also have a wedding fair once a year that you can be a part of.
Yeah.
They've just come out with a magazine as well, so I've got a feature in that. As well as directories, I have collaborative partnerships with venues around the local area. So one in particular is the Orchard Barn. So Patrina and Paul run Clover Cottage Retreat in the Manjimup, Quinninup area. And yeah, we have a really great relationship where we work together in, you know, helping the wedding couple just find great local vendors. So, you know, I would recommend her and she would recommend me, because we've worked with each other for a little while now. We know what to expect, and I love her venue. It's just so incredible. Paul and his mate just hand built this beautiful barn where the couples have the reception, and then the property is just stunning, just absolutely amazing, just in the forest and so homely, and it's really special. So I love doing weddings there.
Thank you to my incredibly clever friend Zoe Palmer for taking the time to share her story of her farming and floristry journey with us. If you're interested in finding out more, or if you would like to get in touch with her, I've put links in the description of this video to her website and social media pages. We are so grateful that we can continue to share our own stories and the inspirational stories of the people around us in our community. Until next time, thank you for watching, liking, subscribing and commenting.